welcome back to Gather in Place podcast, where I am your host, Joe Seaman, a real estate agent, Aiken, South Carolina, North Augusta, South Carolina, and Augusta, Georgia.
Yes.
I am co-hosted. What would I need to say right there? My co-host is my wife, my bride,
Yes.
Hope, who is, we named her the Chaos Coordinator and the
Jill
Jill of all trades because, like we say on every episode, she keeps all the behind-the-scenes stuff rolling smoothly, so we can do what we love to do. And Hope cleans up all our messes in the background and says,
see how
Joe, be
comfortable
here.
I am
Sherry,
with this
be here.
introduction.
Tracy, do this. And so...
I'm thankful for it. I just don't know how to take compliments very well.
But
so
you
thank
like that part of the job. But
I do.
whew, we are not even talking about that. We are talking
dear.
about the hecticness of our life and how it can be that way sometimes. Like
so
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you're specifically talking about the week I took Kessler.
Yes.
So
Oh
a
my
couple
God.
podcasts ago. Go back
Y'all,
and listen.
I am like, we were
I
talking
was
about
gone.
this. Hope and Kessler were gone. So y'all know we have a set of twins that still live at home. 2 older boys that are married and moved out. But I mean, we work so much hand in hand, I feel like, and it really came to light the other week when you were gone.
You just got a refresher.
How much we rely on each other. Because I think it was a two-way street, but probably me so more than you.
Me in different
But,
ways.
Like, oh my God, I felt like, Hope, you can't go out of town anymore.
It wasn't Hope. I'm so thankful for everything. I just realized how well, like, you handle this ship that we're on. Oh, and said it was, you can't go out of town
You can't
anymore.
go out of town anymore because,
I said, rephrase that.
like, we have a set of twins.
Mm-hmm.
I had the low maintenance, easy, don't need anything from anybody twin with me.
Yeah, the one who, like, you know,
like,
he
is
just wants to hunt and
self-sufficient.
fish.
Yeah, he's self-sufficient. He doesn't need, somebody
Yes.
talking to him all the time or reassurance or anything. He doesn't need all that. And he is so low-key and so low maintenance. But, my God, I want to give a shout-out to all the single parents, the stay-at-home moms and the stay-at-home dads. Like, wow. Like, I was just like, is my kid still alive? What do I feed him tonight? Like, how the heck am I going to work all day, get home, and then have him back at church in time? Like, what?
I think you had to call in recruits.
I
didn't
did.
you?
So I actually did have to call in somebody to help me get him to church, and then I went and picked him up. But it was just like a lot. So how in the world you single parents and stay-at-home parents do that and keep everything together? Because I'm like, got to keep the house clean, but I still have to work. I have to go meet this client. I have to go run by this one house. I have to go to this listing appointment, go to this closing. I have to make sure my kid is fed. Is he still alive? Check in with dad. I'm like leaving him notes in the morning, like do this, this, and this. And when you're done, check in with me. He doesn't ever check in with me. So now
No,
I'm
because
like,
he's the low maintenance.
now
kid.
I'm like, is my kid awake? Like, I'm just like, it's 3:00 in the afternoon. Has he even
That
gotten
was
up yet?
probably
So
a reality.
I'm like, because it's so hectic. And I'm just like, how in the world do people do this? I don't know how they do this. I don't know if it is just me getting older and, I go back to, I self-analyze myself as like a high capacity person. I think you would agree with that.
I would agree with that.
I can take on a lot of different things and handle them all. I can give them all the attention it needs, but that was a lot.
And I would say that you're a high capacity person, and you are, but you are most efficient at that in work mode. Like family mode I take that on because you have to be that in work mode. Like you have to multitask everybody's schedule. I mean, I don't want to do what you do either. You don't want to do what I do. I don't want to do what you do because there's no way that I could do what you do efficiently. I would probably have cursed somebody out by now. I don't know. I would have got in trouble or something. There's just no way I could handle that stress that you handle. And so for me, I appreciate that you at least like recognize that it's not a cakewalk being at home either. and making sure everybody is where they need to be. And because there are days that I see what you do as high capacity functioning. You're juggling contracts, juggling agents, juggling film-in schedules, juggling showing appointments, listing appointments. Like, when I compare that to what I do on a daily basis, I'm like, I hope you don't really do that much, but I do. Because there's some days that I don't even know, I may not get anything done that I wanted to get done. And I can't really account for my day very much, but I did something because I was busy all day. So anyway, as a stay-at-home / I don't know what I do. Everything.
You stay at home.
I do stay at home.
You work from home.
Yeah.
And so
I get more work done when I'm in the office. Sometimes I
know,
will go to the office just so I can get some stuff done.
Sometimes it's needed, but
And
you
you're
work
like,
from home.
I do. And you're like, Hope, why aren't you doing that at home? I'm like, because I can't get nothing done at home. They're precious. They're home, but they want to ask questions or tell me this Latin name for a plant, or Mom,
they need to be fed.
Check on this lure. When's this order coming in?
Or out of snacks. That was the one last night.
We don't have any food in this house. Or what are you cooking for supper? And then my always automatic response is, what are you cooking for supper? So, like, it's just, all of those things. But that week that you're talking about, it wasn't, you had a lot. You had a lot real estate wise. We had a lot personal wise. I was out of town. And I will tell you, you probably would have done much better where I was at. But
yeah, in the sunny, warm, 75-degree weather.
That's not what I'm
in the
talking
middle
about.
of February, I probably would have.
Probably, but yeah, the weather was nice. But for me, being the mom, I'm a nervous Nelly. Joe is not. Joe is cool as a cucumber, ready to roll, whatever. Not a lot stresses him out. And I am like, I told you a couple episodes ago, I was white knuckling the steering wheel driving down the interstate. That was a lot for me to try to. I was responsible for him. Y'all should see how I covered the door in the hotel room at night. How
you did what?
How I barricaded the door in the hotel room. We were in a safe place.
So
like
nobody
would
break in the hotel room?
There's so many things that go through my brain. So many things that went through my brain. I made sure the van was parked like in a spot there was a light. And then I made like in the front too. Like I had to have a certain parking spot. And then I would be like, Kessler, don't make a big scene. Like, don't let anybody know it's just me and you up here. Like, thinking about those things and traveling on the Florida Turnpike alone as an experience. And you would have been cool as a cucumber. So I have a lot more mad respect for people that,
stuff like that doesn't
can handle stuff like that. Because I was totally out of my element. You were totally out of your element.
That brings me back to a thought. We were in Atlanta back in December and got turned around late at night. Remember that? And we were driving through some very rough parts of town. And you were like so nervous.
Yeah, I get nervous. Don't take much.
And then, of course, there's like a hijack and there's police cars everywhere. And I'm like, and Hope's like, get us out of here. And I'm like, it's fine.
Oh.
I'm like, it's fine.
So if you ever go to Atlanta and put in your GPS and you're on Peachtree Street, make sure that you southwest or northwest. Make sure it's correct.
Yeah.
Because we went into
the opposite direction. And it took us into a bad part of town. But
and I literally started panicking. I'm just
kind of like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm good driving through stuff like that. I don't get upset or scared or intimidated or anything, but
I watched my routes.
Anxious
last week.
Annie over here.
Yes, I had my routes down. Like okay.
So, but you did well.
I did.
But it's just kind of like, I don't know. I just go back to, it just made me realize just how much of a team we are and how we take on different aspects of our family life, each other's life, and just really balance each other out. And it's still not even balanced, but we just take on
Had we been in that hotel room and you'd been with me, I wouldn't have barricaded that door. I wouldn't have thought anything about it.
Heck, half the time when we're in hotel rooms, I forget to even lock the door.
But I don't. I make sure I get that done.
My keys probably would have been sitting in the van. Like, that's just how I'm just like,
but we balance each other
out.
But I felt such responsibility for Kessler and his safety and making sure. And then, he's 15 years old and he doesn't think like I think. So I'm like, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot to going to the gas station on
Mm-hmm.
the interstate, having to stop and get gas and you can't just stop at any gas station
Mm-hmm.
because my kid has to go into an opposite bathroom than I do. And you hear about those things all the
Mm-hmm.
time. Like, it's a lot. So, I think we did good with it. Next time we go, I want somebody to go with me. So we're going to have to figure out. I've already been on the internet to try to figure out how much a seat would cost to put in the back of that van. So we have a jump seat.
Yeah.
But it is something I will
also
I'm
tell you,
proud of
like,
doing.
just even though that week, a couple weeks ago, was so hectic, like, it
There
was
was
a
a lot.
whirlwind Monday through Friday.
And it wasn't all bad.
It
It
wasn't
was
bad
just
at all. It was just so much coming at us that even through all of that, like, I spent some really, really good, valuable time with Cade, and you spent some really, really good, valuable time with Kessler that we will never get back. I mean, Cade, the one who is very to himself a lot, he doesn't need us.
He
as
secretly
much.
needs it,
He
but he
does,
acts like
but
he doesn't.
He doesn't have to be there and not lovey-dovey.
He doesn't need me to hold his hand all the
Yes,
time. He doesn't
but-
want me to do that.
Right. But he'd sit there and, I mean, we'd just be chilling in the kitchen, just talking. And he needed that. And when we were coming back we went up to Columbia to eat dinner and at his favorite restaurant, and then was coming back.
While I was eating Cracker Barrel, y'all were eating at Ruth's Chris.
We didn't spend money on plants or travel or hotel.
Really?
So we just spent money
Palmetto
on
Armory.
food.
Okay, go
But
ahead.
anyways, we were driving back from Columbia, an hour drive back, and he did not stop talking the entire drive back. And that's rare. And so just to have that time with each kid, I've actually made it part of my goal. It was part of my goal coming into 2024 is to have that time with our kids because they grow up so fast. And so,
We reversed it.
next month, I'm going to try to just spend a day with just Kessler. And then hopefully you'll be able to spend just a day with just Cade. And
I feel like I spend a lot. I take him from fishing tournament to fishing tournament to fishing tournament.
yeah, but normally
we're always
there's
in the car together.
Normally there's somebody tagging along, and
Yeah,
it's not
true.
just you and him. But
Yeah.
that is actually like a goal, and like this was it was a little bit scheduled but unscheduled, and my goal was to actually have one day a month scheduled to where I could spend time with one or both or whatever. And so it just happened that way. It was a great, like, nothing bad at all during that week.
No, it was just
It was
different.
all good
It
stuff,
was
but it was
different.
just so
and
much.
we survived it.
Like, if you could imagine, like, a fire truck and a fire hose, and they turn that fire hose on full blast, and it's just spraying you right in the face, is exactly the feeling that I had of that week. But again, it was just not anything bad. It was really good. A lot of good things came from that week. It was a lot, and it just really made me see how much our boys need our one-on-one attention, and then also it made me see, like, how much we are a team.
Right. Well, I'll tell you something I learned being uncomfortable on the interstate is just about vehicles in general, because I'm the person that'll just fly down the interstate. I'm in my car. I'm used to it. I know how to drive it. I'm secure with it. I'll get in and out and do whatever I need to do. And driving a larger vehicle down the interstate that you're not used to driving, which, by the way, didn't even know where the gas tank was when
She called me one day. I'm working out, and she's like, I don't even know where. I think I was working out, and I don't even know where this gas tank's at.
And
I'm
he
like,
goes, I
"Oh,
had
but
walked
it's-"
around the entire van. By the way, it was not in a very obvious
So I'm
like,
where could the gas tank
Drew, I'm going to have to
be
give you
at?
that clip, so you'll have to add that in there.
Where's this gas tank at? So I'm YouTubing it real
Yes.
quick. Like, where is the gas tank cover on a Sprinter van?
It was in
And I
a
had to
very
find-
weird place.
And there's literally YouTube, so you're not the first one
Yeah.
that didn't know
Yeah.
where it was at.
Yeah.
There was literally probably 15 different YouTube videos
Yes,
on
that was the start of
where
the
to
trip.
find the gas tank on a Sprinter van.
I
So,
said, well, y'all, you've got time to look it up because I've got 220 miles till empty. But anyway, all that to say, when I was driving down the interstate, driving that van, it was different. It was a different situation for me. You can drive, you've driven trucks with tall trailers and all that before. I would look at these semi people, the people in the trucks, and I would be like, hey, so they have a hard job. They have a really hard job. They have to navigate people who dart in and out of traffic. They have a huge load behind them. If I'm all over the road at 74 miles an hour, can you imagine what they are in the wind? And it just gave me a huge appreciation for them. And I found myself like, I know this is going to sound so dumb, but I just found myself like one would pass me and I'd start praying for them because I couldn't imagine having to do that day in and day out. And it gave me an appreciation for them. That's what they do for a living. I did it because I wanted to spend that time with my kid and I wanted to give him the experience of a lifetime. So I got out of my comfort zone. But these people do it day in and day out, and they're not with their families. You know, they're driving for a living and in control of these big rigs. So I found myself praying for them going down the highway and just, I'll never see those people again. But it just made a difference for me. And I had the conversations with Kessler, and I think it was a good experience for him too because he watched me get out of, like, he knew that I was nervous. I told him before I started that trip, Kessler, I'm very nervous about this, but I'm doing it because this is what we need to do. And he was so good with me and so patient with me, and he helped me the whole way. And I think he needed to see, hey, Mom, because Mom's willing to get uncomfortable to do something that I want to do. So overall, it was hectic. It was stressful, but it was the best thing, and our kids needed it. Now let's figure out how to do this with the older kids. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that with Keaton and
because
Bill.
everybody's stretched in so many different ways.
So many different directions. But anyways,
I think it's good to take that time with your kids, get uninterrupted, take them to their favorite restaurant, take them to their favorite plant store or nursery or whatever. Just have an unscheduled day and just do what they want to do. And no matter really what age they are, if they're 6, 5, 15, 22, 24, it doesn't matter what age they are, like just schedule that day.
And let that be about them, not about what you want. So
anyways, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Gather and Place podcast. Thank y'all for joining in. If y'all have any topics y'all want us to cover or want to know more about, put them down in the comments and let's see if we can figure out some kind of way to talk about whatever topic you want us to talk about. But anyways, we love doing this. We hope y'all get some value out of it. It's a little bit of an inside for y'all to get to know Hope and I a little bit more and a little bit better. And so we thank y'all from the bottom of our hearts for joining in, listening in. I get a lot of text about the podcast we get a lot of DMs about the podcast every week. We love doing it. I love doing it. It's a way for me to get my words out because I got a lot of words to say every day.
Do you?
We both do. Our whole house does. Everyone in our house has
Kate.
a lot of words. But anyways, it's a way for me to get my words out. And so I just really enjoy it. And I hope y'all enjoy it too. So anyways, thank y'all for joining us. And we will catch y'all on next week's episode of the Gather and Place podcast.